Hi, this is Pat Moorhead with More Insights and Strategy, and we are here for another More Insights and Strategy podcast. This is a special edition talking about Amazon ReMars. I'm here with Rachel and Swami. How are you two?
Good. How are you?
Good. I love that background. I love, back to doing things face to face. I mean, I might be in Austin and you're not. We're not all together, but at least the two of you are together. This is great.
Yeah.
So maybe let's just start off with some basics. Rachel, you're CMO of AWS, and that's awesome. Swami, VP of Database Analytics and Machine Learning at AWS. Let's get the heavy hitters on the show today. This is super. So we are here to talk about ReMars. Rachel, I'm going to ask you this question first. What is the genesis of it? And I hope I'm saying the name of it correctly. And
Yes.
why these topics that I'll let you explain what Mars is.
Okay. So in terms of Genesis, we actually started ReMars as an event 3 years ago in 2019. The idea was to bring together communities, experts, product people, developers, researchers who were really excited to talk about and share their expertise around the domains of machine learning, AI, robotics, and space. So it was a great event in 2019. We're bringing it back this year. This year will be in Las Vegas from June 21st, I should say, through the 24th. And again, it's just such a great opportunity for anyone interested in those domains to hear from not only academics, researchers, but product leaders such as Swami, developers, engineers across any of those domains who really wants to get deep and hands-on, but also be inspired with what's coming.
Well, that's so cool. I can't think of 4 or 5 cooler MARS, 4 coolest topics. Okay. I actually had to do that. That's pretty sad. And I have a finance degree. That's even more sad. So Rachel, can anybody attend and what can people expect? What does the agenda look like?
Yes, anyone can attend. Definitely, if you are a developer, if you're an engineer, lots of stuff for academics, lots of stuff for our research communities, but also for our business leaders and our product leaders. And the way we've structured the agenda for the 3 days is a combination of keynotes, so inspiration, where we're going, very future looking, then innovation spotlights on specific Mars domain topics, then hands-on labs, sessions, hackathons. So really, we're trying to make it you can hear and be inspired, but then you can also get hands-on with the technology.
Oh, that's cool. So Swami, I'm gonna dive out, I'm gonna come out here and do the MA of the MARS. So a lot of buzz around AI, ML, and deep learning. And we do see a lot of particularly consumer companies who kicked this off. But a big question is all the buzz warranted? And in the future, where do you see this going over the next 5, 10 years and maybe beyond? That's the hardest question you're going to get from me all day, but we have to start there.
You might have heard me say this many times, and I truly believe it. Machine learning and AI is arguably one of the most transformative technologies we are going to encounter in our generation. Because the interesting thing about machine learning is kind of like how cloud transformed IT industry. Machine learning is transforming practically every industry. It doesn't matter if it is healthcare or actually finance or public sector or fashion or retail. I can keep going on, and every industry is transforming because of the power of machine learning and AI technologies. And what we are seeing even in AWS, for instance, is like more than 100,000 customers across various industries and across actually various organization sizes from startups to large enterprises really coming up with new innovation that is material to their business and their customers. So even on a daily basis, and I have a 7-year-old daughter, anything that she views in her on-demand TV is now personalized through machine learning powered by technologies to actually machine learning technologies being put to use to control wildfires in San Diego using AWS technologies. It is already pervasive. And the good news is we are literally just getting started. And that's why I'm very excited. And honestly, I think 5 to 10 years from now, it is going to be pervasive in every application and the way they are building it and way we are experiencing it. So really looking forward to that future.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. And the fact that it's no longer, just for a few companies out there is the most exciting to me. And it is amazing what happens when you get this in the hands, you make it pervasive. I remember the early days of analytics and where it became 20 years afterwards. And I can just imagine what this is going to be like then. So this is my audience. I told you I had some heavy hitters on here, and Swami, you were just invited to join the U.S. Department of Commerce's National AI Advisory Committee. That's amazing. Congratulations. Now, if I look at the list, it's a really interesting mix of private sector research folks. Heck, and even the AFL CIO is on there. That was a surprise to me. Why do you think it's important that all these different groups were brought together? And how do you think this is going to impact what happens with artificial intelligence?
Yeah, first of all, I'm really honored and humbled to be part of that National AI Advisory Committee. I mean, given how transformative the potential of AI technology is, it has actually such a widespread impact on what we can do in every industry, and also widespread impact, not just on R&D in terms of what is possible with it, but also how do we retrain our workforce? How do we actually get education? What are the right regulations that needs to be done and so forth? So I'm really looking forward to partnering with 26 other colleagues from various diverse background as well to help and actually advise the President and National AI Council as well on this front. So really looking forward to that.
So Rachel, before I ask you the question, I have to hit you up on this. I mean, the R in ReMars is for robotics, again, for the coolest topics in one place. That's exciting to me. So Swami, I know you were recently at a smaller event. I think it was called Mars, where lots of really cool robotic tech was shown. Really great stuff. Beyond the cool factor, which yes, it's very cool. What changes about work and society should we expect or think about as we incorporate robotics more and more into daily life? I mean, heck, I'm looking at labor situation right now. I'm looking at what's happening in Japan with the birth rate. I'm thinking, something has to fill this gap. But what do you have to say, Swami?
Yeah, robotics is one of the most promising areas that really could improve our lives in a meaningful way to help with various tasks that are either, routine or something that is not necessarily safe for many to do. So, and this is an area where the combination of robotics and machine learning is super interesting. Let's take the fulfillment center in Amazon as an example. You have like packages coming down the conveyor belt constantly. And then we have a robotic arm in there called Robin, which actually is trained to pick up these packages from the conveyor belt, irrespective of what shape, what size, and everything they come in. And then they end up actually putting it in a vehicle called a drive, which actually goes and takes it to the loading dock automatically. And then, I mean, you might be wondering, saying like, hey, I've seen enough videos to see these robotic arms and research. Yes, this is very possible in research, but very few companies are doing it in production on a daily basis at the scale at which we are doing. And our goal is to kind of also, and this is the underpinning of even Mars conference, almost we tend to associate things like machine learning, robotics as the future technologies. And at least for me, what Mars is the future is already here, and AWS is how you can actually realize this, is the way I look at it, and very excited about it. And you'll see already many technologies, how they are innovating on robotics, not just with the Amazon FCs with Robin or Scout, which actually does this, but there's so much you will start to see even at AWS product level with all the stuff we have in RoboMaker and various others too.
So Rachel, some of the MARSs seems like they'd be really easy to make super cool and sexy and really bring these concepts to life. But how are you thinking about bringing this to the attendees?
I think that when we were designing ReMars and thinking about the agenda, thinking about speakers, but also what we wanted to make sure attendees experienced, it was very much, how do we show the link between what Swami just mentioned, what people might think is very future focused, that inspiration, but actually show the tight linkage between that and actual product integration. So you can hear something that you think, wow, that's amazing. But then you can actually experience, okay, this is how I put it to work in my business. This is how I get hands-on with this technology to build innovation for my customers. So it was very much that balance of helping people get inspired and excited about what's happening, what's out there, but then also how they bring it into their daily business or work with their daily customers or their daily teams to put it into practice.
Yes, people learn different ways, right? I mean, to me, people apologize with PowerPoint to me or showing me a demo, and I'm like, no, bring it on. That's the way that I personally learn. But I know on the other hand, somebody might start with a research paper and then maybe move to more of these. But it has to be a challenge, though. How do you strike the right balance of a more future looking and what customers and people can do right now? How do you balance that?
It is a good combination. It's a good question. And when we think about, again, sort of laying out the content, it was like, okay, who do we want to keynote? So who's going to tell a really amazing, inspirational keynote?
Right.
Again, such as Swami. But then how do we actually give customers the option, attendees the option to check out? Maybe there's a session on Kuiper. Maybe there's a hands-on lab using RoboMaker to design your own robot. Maybe they check out the tech showcase where we have everything from the Alexa smart home to Spot, the robotic dog from Boston Automation, to really inspire people, but also show them, okay, this is how you can actually build with it. So giving people different learning modalities. So I sat through the keynote, maybe I went to a spotlight session, but then I also had a builder session. I also had a hackathon. And then I also spent time with the Alexa team learning about, Alexa development.
That's so much fun. I can't wait to go. I am going, by the way. I am confirmed. So I'm super excited. Super excited. I missed the first one due to a scheduling conflict, but I'm absolutely locked in on this one. So let's touch on the S. So Swami, you're clearly the M and the A part of the program here at ReMars, but where do you see ML impacting what we can do with areas like space, right?
Yeah.
I know you have, and Rachel, you just talked about Project Kuiper. We know you have that, but can you talk a little bit about how ML intersects this? Because there absolutely is the intersection of the two. Kind of hard for me to think I could do automation and robotics without AI and ML, but I'm going to let it up to you, the expert, to answer this question.
Yeah, first of all, Project Kuiper is our low Earth orbit satellite constellation. The project is really going to be useful because it enables actually internet and connectivity to so many different spaces, either that is out of reach and population that is either underserved, and it kind of has such immense potential on what it can do. So, and now if you look at what are some of the applications, what Kuiper enables, now it truly is going to transform various aspects of manufacturing, or actually even automotive and transportation and several other or agriculture and so forth. So the applications of these things have, I mean, usefulness for IoT to robotics to various others as well as one of the key things. And just outside Kuiper, if I look at even how AWS customers are innovating on space constructs, we have products like Ground Station. And you see like what, I think this is Capella Space. They actually talked about it in a year or so ago about how they were able to actually use AWS for real-time processing of images and use some of our ML technologies to identify emerging things happening in space, such as, is there a deforestation happening, or is there a uptick in volcanic activity in a particular space, and so forth, which is usually very, very hard to do. But the combination of these two is super interesting and very, very, I mean, amazing impact in terms of what it can do for the entire world. And then we have actually our partnership with Lockheed Martin with Alexa to showcase some of the, how do you take transformative technologies like Alexa to space, like the mission to moon with, I think, Artemis. And there is so many intersection. If you let me talk for another half an hour, I'll keep talking, but there is so much opportunity, and that's why, again, goes back to Mars part, that these are all very, very interconnected in many ways. Because even when you look at all the work that happens in space and others, it is a lot of it needs to be automated because we can't put like 200 people in a single spaceship to go do certain things either. So, and there is so much, I mean, automation that needs to happen, so much robotics needs to go in and whatnot. So showing all these things, how they interplay with each other is truly fascinating. And it's that's why we're very excited about this, these 4 areas.
Yeah, I've just been fascinated by these low orbit satellites and the images that they've been taking. Literally, you know, we used to have a satellite that across a year would take a view of the Earth. And now we have high resolution satellites that take an entire picture of the entire Earth within 24 hours. And you can get near real time data on how the environment is going, what's going on in the supply chain. We've been seeing a lot of these photos with the conflict inside of Ukraine that, you know, essentially is providing a common sort of truth for things. And, you know, where's the best place to plant in a certain, you know, where's the best place to put wheat in a certain part of the world, and deforestation. So I'm just a real fan of all of that technology, and I can imagine all of the cool machine learning algorithms, Swami, you can run against all of that image data to make this data useful for somebody to do something with. So so all of this we've talked about is very cool. I have, you know, I guess my final question for the two of you is, you know, we talked about all this cool Mars kinds of things. Swami, what are you most excited to talk about with the audience at ReMars?
I'm super excited about talking about how, I mean, machine learning, AI technologies are truly transforming lives today, and also where how our customers are innovating with it today. And also showcase that what are all the kind of things businesses and also developers can actually put it to work today. And we will showcase some of our cool ideas that are going to be practical, and it will meaningfully transform how people can actually retransform and rethink various business processes and how they do these things as well. So, and I'm a big believer in, I'm an engineer by training, so I'm a big believer in also making these technologies accessible. So as many times when you think about these future technologies, they don't really achieve their mission and their potential unless everyday engineers and all of its users can actually put it to work for their daily needs. And that is one of the mission I'm personally on and AWS is personally on. And we are excited to showcase all the stuff about how our customers are actually putting this to work today and also for years to come.
Yeah, accessibility has always been a hallmark of AWS. I mean, whether it was 15 years ago, starting with S3, I mean, it was about making sure everybody had access around the world. And I do think that's a super important element. And sometimes, you know, as an industry, we get caught up with the cool demos and stuff like that, but accessibility is huge. So Rachel, what are you most looking forward to at ReMars?
Well, outside of Swami's keynote, I have to say that the tech showcase is always one of my favorites. I love seeing the robotics. So I mentioned Spot, the robotic dog. We also are going to do a fun party for attendees. We'll have the battle bots. So if you watch that show, they'll be there. So that's also a lot of fun too.
That's great. I can't wait. Can I actually operate a battle bot, or would I be more of an attendee? Are you sure we're not going to shoot up Swami up to the moon on a Lockheed rocket or Blue Origin or something like that?
No, we looked into that, but that was
all right. That was way over budget. No, this is great. Rachel and Swami, I really appreciate the time here. I know I'm absolutely going to be there, and for everybody watching out there, if you're excited, I mean, Rachel, how do they sign up?
All you have to do is ReMars.com.
All right. And now I'm going to be putting out a Forbes column as well out there in a couple days, and you can see that as well. So Rachel and Swami, I hope we can meet face to face at ReMars.
Yes, absolutely.
This is great. And please don't shoot me into space. If you want to lend me the robot dog, I would absolutely sign up. I've gotten to know Spot very well, going to a couple places, and I'm just absolutely amazed at what's going on there. So thank you so much. And if you like what you've heard, please hit that subscribe button. And also you can see in the show notes how you can sign up for Amazon ReMars. So with that, I'd like to thank you and thank you for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Take care.